And for more on the Zika virus, CCTV has interviewed Dr. Joe Silanikil. He's the CEO and co-founder of Magpie, a provider of cloud-based mobile collection and communication applications.
For people living in these Latin American countries, I mean, you can do what you can to make sure you don't have standing water where they breed. They're going door to door, passing out leaflets. But
Right.
How much good will that really do, I mean, to fight these tiny insects?
Well, I mean, that will do a world of good. I mean, that's how we control these same insects. And of course, we also have, screens on the windows and things like that. But yeah, this is the way that they reduced dramatically dengue fever earlier, 50 to 75 years ago. That was with the same exact approach. And I think because they've let down their guard in the past, that particular kind of mosquito has now flourished and apparently is also transmitting Zika. But these are the measures that are quite well known and quite effective. But it's going to take, in a country the size of Brazil, it's going to take an enormous amount of effort to put these into effect across the country.
What lessons did we learn from the Ebola epidemic? You were on numerous times talking about that.
Well, again, this is quite different from Ebola. With Ebola, the disease and the virus had been studied for, decades. So we knew a lot about how Ebola was transmitted. We knew a lot about the effects of the virus. Of course, we learned a lot during the course of the epidemic. With the case of Zika, this is something that, although it's existed, and I think it was first identified in the 50s or sometime around then, no one paid too much attention to it because it mostly caused what was considered to be a pretty mild disease. I think the thing that has people very alarmed now is this potential connection with microcephaly. But even that, as I said, is not certain. There's some suspicion that in the case, in an epidemic a few years back in French Polynesia, a Zika epidemic, that there may have been microcephaly cases that were linked. Obviously, that's the suspicion in Brazil. Colombia, with, as you said, thousands of pregnant women with Zika, has not yet reported an increase in the cases of microcephaly. So it's still not certain. I think people want to act with an abundance of caution, obviously when a question of birth defects is on the table.